The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I've called the X-Zone for the past 20 years. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And don't forget, X-Zone, you can always go to our podcast archive page where you can listen 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year with our compliments for the past 90 days at www.xzonepodcast.com. My first guest tonight is a gentleman I've had the pleasure of having on the show before. His name is Sylvester. And we're going to be talking about mythology this hour in the X-Zone. And first of all, I'd like to introduce to you, the X-Zone Nation, Sylvester. Welcome back to the X-Zone. Can you give our listeners a little bit about yourself so that if they hadn't been with us the last time you were with us, that they can get a better idea of who you are?
Yeah, Rob, first I want to say thanks for having me back on the show. I've grown since I was here last time. We talked primarily just about alchemy. Mm-hmm. I was introduced to the Gnostics by another radio show host. I hadn't even read the Gnostics, but it's all ancient Egypt. And as I've always been studying alchemy, I can read the Gnostics probably better than people that studied them most of their life because I know what they're based on.
Well, for those who may not know, what are the Gnostics?
The Gnostics are, I think, mostly from the Coptic Christians, things that Jesus said, but they've been buried in the ground for at least 1,800 years. When you know what they're all about the past Egyptian religion. Mm-hmm. They're not just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the starting of a new religion by Jesus Christ. He actually knew, talked about, and practiced the Egyptian religion, same one that Osiris practice. And I think I say that because it's hard to find proof other than pyramids being all over the planet, and from the books of Gerald Massey, connections between all the different societies all over the planet that are similar, the same. Like I told you that when we talked about alchemy in Egypt, the sun was spirit, and that's the essence that we could get from the sun. Like we collect spirit from the sun, soul from the moon. Well, the American Indian, which is on the other side of the world, prays to the Great Spirit behind the sun. It's coincidences like that are all over the world that say that 10,000 years ago or beyond 10,000 years ago, I think there was a one world religion, and something happened to this planet that must have about destroyed the different societies.
So are we saying that what we are going to be talking about over the next hour is going to be forgotten history? And are we going to be able to tie a circle from the past to the future?
It's not so much that it was forgotten, but it was pretty much destroyed by the religious groups that have been in control, because they didn't want you to know that the religion was based on the past. They wanted you to think that, we have the Savior and it's the new thing. The past is gone. They destroyed pretty much everything. However, they didn't know all the information that was buried in the ground in different tombs. They didn't know, like the Gnostics was buried in a jar in a cave out in the desert somewhere that somebody found.
All right, Al, we're going to have to take a break here. I've got to take my first 2-minute commercial break. Exonation, Al Sylvester is our special guest. www.thefirstmythology.com is his website. That's www.thefirstmythology.com. Al Sylvester and I will return on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled lite.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. www.xzoneradiotv.com is our website. My guest this hour is Al Sylvester. We're going to be talking about mythology from way back when. Al's website, thefirstmythology.com. That's www.thefirstmythology.com. Al, who do you think it was who destroyed the ancient knowledge of this all one world religion, and why?
Well, first I would say that Gerald Massey, said that he had dug up so much of Egypt. He said that at 4500 BC, even the Egyptians were having trouble understanding the religion. Mm-hmm. But there was always the holy man, like Jesus, who was a holy man, that knew the secret religion. In our near time, everything pretty much was destroyed by the Christian church. They were terrible with the female. They went into villages and perhaps killed all the females in a village, except for maybe one or two. All knowledge of the past was just destroyed. That's why I think the Gnostics were buried. It was somebody around AD 200 that wanted to save the past records, so they stuffed them all in this big jar and took them out and buried them.
Now, where was this big jar found?
It's someplace outside of Alexandria in the desert. Other than that, that's all I can tell you. It's where they've been digging up a lot of stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. What else did they find in that approximate dig area?
Well, I can't tell you that. It wasn't a dig area. It was a couple of boys that were out messing around, and they found the jar. They took the jar home because it was full of parchments, and their mother actually burnt some of them because she was using them for firing her stove.
So when we look at the biblical account of Genesis, is that the true account, or is there another version? And if so, I'd like to hear it.
Okay, there's another version. When I started to study alchemy, they said Genesis, if you read the different books, the alchemist said Genesis was the greatest book ever written on alchemy. And they said to study nature, so that's what I did. And after a long period of time, because there's just no explanation, everything is a puzzle. So you have to figure out so many different puzzles before you get anywhere. Genesis comes from Egypt, ancient Egypt. I don't even know how old Genesis is, but it's based on how the world works. They saw the earth as two earths, the northern hemisphere, what we call, and the southern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. The sun moves north for 6 months, and the northern hemisphere is recreated. Right. The sun then moves south for 6 months, and the southern hemisphere is recreated. Those 6 months are the 6 days. A day is based on the moon. One cycle of the moon was 1 day. In Genesis, it says waters above, plural. That's the sun, moon, and stars. The Egyptians didn't make anything up, and they didn't have anything that you had to accept as a faith. They used what was here. And just look at the moon. You could not say, well, it was a week. The moon wouldn't even be waxing in a week, or it would just be starting to wax. So if you're using the moon, you have to use it as a cycle. The 6 days, 6 months in each hemisphere based on the moon. The beginning for the northern hemisphere is December, when the sun starts to move north. The third day when the waters come together is our spring, and everything, starts to grow. The northern hemisphere is pretty much finished by summer, food to eat, so on. So they felt that that's when the man would have been created.